If you're someone over 60 or love someone who is, please consider supporting this journey. Your one like, one comment, or simple subscription helps bring these quiet truths to more people who need them. And if this reflection touches you, say hello in the comments. Share your story. Because aging should never mean disappearing, and your voice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Chapter 1: The Myth of Endless Walking. Do you believe walking more is always better after 70? I once did. For years, I felt walking was the safest, healthiest exercise I could do. I proudly logged tens of thousands of steps each day, convinced I was preserving my joints, maintaining strength, and preventing aging. But what I didn't realize was that my good intentions were actually quietly causing harm, accelerating my aging process instead. After all, wasn't walking supposed to be universally good, especially for seniors? This confusion led me to my doctor, who gently explained the hidden damage I was unknowingly causing. She pointed out that while walking is indeed beneficial, overdoing it without proper recovery or joint care can quietly erode cartilage, weaken muscles, and inflame joints, ironically speeding up the aging process. She patiently described how each step impacts our joints. Every time our foot hits the ground, a force roughly equal to our body weight travels up our legs, jolting our knees, hips, and spine. While younger bodies repair quickly, after 70, our joints and muscles need more time and support to recover. By ignoring this reality, I was unintentionally causing inflammation and cartilage breakdown, two silent enemies of healthy aging. But this realization didn't mean I had to give up walking altogether. Instead, it meant learning how to walk smarter, not harder. Before we dive deeper into how I changed my approach to walking and reclaimed my health, I invite you to share your experiences in the comments below. Have you ever felt walking might be quietly causing more harm than good? Subscribe now, and let's uncover these truths together. Chapter 2: The Silent Damage to Your Joints. I always assumed my joints would thank me for walking endlessly, yet my body began quietly telling a different story. It turns out that excessive walking without adequate rest or cross-training places tremendous repetitive strain on aging cartilage. Cartilage, the cushioning tissue that protects our joints, naturally thins as we age. But constant, repetitive motion without sufficient recovery time can speed this thinning dramatically. My knees provided the first clue. Once strong and flexible, they gradually became stiff and swollen. Each step felt harder, as if bone were grinding directly against bone. Eventually, my doctor explained this as cartilage deterioration caused by repetitive stress. Every single step I took sent impact forces through weakened cartilage, steadily damaging my joints further. Medical studies confirm this quiet erosion. Researchers note that moderate walking is beneficial, but excess walking, especially without joint-strengthening exercises or proper rest periods, can worsen osteoarthritis and cartilage loss, particularly after age 70. Aging joints simply can't repair as efficiently as younger joints, meaning constant use without recovery exacerbates existing issues. When I finally understood this, I felt a mixture of relief and regret. Relief that my pain had an explanation, and regret that I'd unknowingly accelerated my joint problems. It wasn't walking itself, but the endless, thoughtless approach to walking that had quietly harmed me. This knowledge was the wake-up call I needed to change my exercise routine dramatically. Instead of relentless walks, my doctor recommended adding simple strength training exercises and gentle stretching to support joint health and resilience. By incorporating resistance bands, light weights, and balance-focused movements, my knees slowly regained stability and strength. Today, I walk fewer steps, but each one is pain-free and purposeful, proof that protecting our joints matters just as much as staying active. Chapter 3: The Hidden Risk of Sarcopenia. Another hidden consequence of overwalking after 70 was muscle loss, known medically as sarcopenia. This condition quietly creeps up with age, gradually diminishing muscle mass, strength, and stability, crucial factors for healthy aging. At first, I didn't notice my muscles weakening. I assumed staying active through walking alone was enough, but slowly I saw changes in my body that worried me. My arms and legs became thinner, muscles shrinking noticeably, tasks that once felt effortless, lifting groceries, standing up from chairs, maintaining balance, became challenging. I realized walking alone wasn't enough to preserve muscle mass. In fact, without resistance training, overwalking was actually worsening the condition. Aerobic exercise, while beneficial for cardiovascular health, provides limited stimulus for maintaining muscle after age 70. Without adequate strength training, muscles quietly atrophy. Research shows clearly that maintaining muscle after 70 requires specific resistance exercises. Without these, older adults naturally lose 3 to 5% of muscle per decade. Accelerating after 60, muscle loss affects mobility, independence, and quality of life, making everyday tasks increasingly difficult and risky. By relying solely on walking, I'd unintentionally allowed sarcopenia to accelerate. This realization prompted me to add simple, effective strength exercises into my routine. Light weightlifting, resistance bands, and bodyweight exercises like squats, lunges, and modified push-ups became new habits. Gradually, strength returned to my muscles, improving not only physical appearance but daily functionality and confidence. I learned that walking alone wasn't enough. Resistance training became essential, not just optional, to age healthily. The sooner you start, the better your muscles will protect your joints, bones, and overall mobility. This understanding transformed my approach to aging and fitness profoundly. And if any of this feels familiar to you, don't stay silent. Share your story in the comments, subscribe for more reflections like this, and leave a like to help others find this message too. Thank you for being here. Chapter 4: How Chronic Inflammation Quietly Ages You. Perhaps the most surprising revelation was how overwalking triggered chronic inflammation, silently accelerating my aging. Initially, inflammation seemed unrelated to my fatigue and joint pain. Yet, medical explanations connected these dots clearly. Inflammation is the body's natural response to stress and injury, helpful when brief and controlled. But constant, repetitive strain without sufficient recovery leads to chronic inflammation, a state where the immune system remains quietly active, causing ongoing tissue damage. After 70, our bodies become more susceptible, less able to control inflammatory responses. The relentless walking routine I'd adopted created chronic inflammation in my joints and muscles. Persistent inflammation not only caused constant discomfort, it significantly increased my biological age. Over time, chronic inflammation is linked to heart disease, diabetes, cognitive decline, and weakened immunity, quietly dangerous health consequences. Moderate exercise reduces inflammation, but intense, repetitive activity without recovery worsens it. To break this cycle, I shortened walks, added yoga, stretching, and resistance training. I also improved nutrition with anti-inflammatory foods. These changes reduced pain, restored energy, and taught me that aging smart means respecting recovery. Chapter 5: The Emotional and Social Impact of Overwalking. Finally, beyond physical consequences, overwalking quietly eroded my emotional and social well-being. Initially, endless walking felt purposeful. Over time, however, it became isolating, draining my emotional energy and disconnecting me from relationships. My obsession with reaching step counts dominated my day, pushing out meaningful social interactions and relaxing activities. Doctors often highlight the importance of balanced activity for emotional and cognitive health, especially for seniors. Too much solitary, repetitive exercise reduces valuable time spent in social environments, increasing loneliness and emotional fatigue. Isolation worsens mental health, causing increased stress and cognitive decline, both quietly accelerating aging. When I recognized this emotional toll, I made deliberate changes. Rather than walking alone, I joined community classes and group fitness activities. Gentle yoga classes, Tai Chi groups, and strength training sessions with friends replaced lonely walks. These connections dramatically improved my emotional health, sense of belonging, and motivation. Exercise became joyful rather than burdensome, enhancing both physical and emotional resilience. Social connections matter deeply at any age, but become critical after 70. Incorporating community and companionship into my routine didn't just enhance enjoyment, it reduced stress hormones like cortisol, improved sleep quality, and bolstered cognitive function, directly slowing my biological aging process. Final reflection. Aging well means listening to your body. Reflecting now, at 75, I see clearly how my belief that more walking was always better quietly harmed rather than helped. Aging well isn't about endless activity. It's about exercising intelligently. That means balance between movement and rest, strength and softness, effort and recovery. I had to unlearn the myth that more is always better. If you've felt similar pain or fatigue, know you're not alone. Your body might not need more steps, it might be asking for smarter steps. Resistance training, varied movement, and rest days all play a role. Aging doesn't mean stopping, it means listening more closely. Reclaiming my health meant walking less but living more. Fewer steps but deeper breaths. Less pain but more connection. I invite you to rethink your habits not with fear, but with curiosity and care. Longevity isn't built in miles walked, but in how wisely you spend those steps. If this story resonated with you, please like the video, leave a comment sharing your experience, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us reach more people who need these truths. Thank you for being part of this journey and for taking the time to walk a little wiser today.